My older boyfriend had a secret family and turned me into his second wife. He was 15 years older than me, and from the very first conversation it felt like he already knew where my weak spots were. Not in a predatory way, not obviously. He never rushed, never pushed, never raised his voice. He watched. He listened. He remembered things I had mentioned once in passing and brought them up weeks later like they mattered. When he complimented me, it wasn't about my looks. It was about my mind, my calmness, my rare femininity, the way I carried myself. He spoke like a man who had already lived his chaos and was now choosing peace. And somehow, that peace was me. I didn't feel swept off my feet. I felt grounded. Chosen deliberately. He didn't make promises early, but everything about him suggested stability, his career, his routine, the way he planned weeks ahead. Being with him felt adult in a way my past relationships never had. I stopped questioning things that usually bothered me. Why he was unavailable on certain evenings. Why he never stayed overnight. Why I never met his friends. He always had a calm explanation, delivered with such confidence that it made my doubts feel embarrassing. 3 months in, the truth didn't come out because he decided to be honest. It came out because he slipped. A call he thought I couldn't hear. A name I didn't recognize. When I asked him directly, there was a pause, not panic, not fear, calculation. Then he told me. He was married. Not separated. Not divorced. Married. With 6 children. He said it the way someone says something unfortunate but manageable. Like a logistical issue. I remember my body going cold while he kept talking, explaining that his marriage had been dead for years, that his wife and him lived parallel lives, that love and intimacy had left long ago. He said he hadn't told me because he didn't want to scare me before I understood the full picture. I asked him how long he planned to let me fall for him before revealing something that massive. He said he needed to be sure I was serious before burdening me with complexity. Then he said the sentence that cracked my sense of reality. He wanted me as his second wife. At first, I thought I misunderstood. I laughed, half in disbelief, half in shock. But he wasn't joking. He explained it slowly, carefully, like he had rehearsed it. He talked about Muslim traditions, about responsibility, about fairness. He said love didn't have to be exclusive to be real. He said I wouldn't be hidden, that I would be provided for, protected, respected. He said his wife knew this was always a possibility when she married him. I told him I wasn't Muslim. He said that wasn't a problem. I told him I didn't believe in sharing a man. He said beliefs evolve when life shows you a better structure. Every objection I raised, he absorbed calmly and redirected. He never argued. He never pressured. He just waited, confident that time and comfort would do the work for him. And they did. The apartment came first. Bought outright. In my name. He didn't announce it dramatically. He simply handed me the keys and said he wanted me to feel secure, independent, never trapped. That word, secure, lodged itself deep inside me. No one had ever offered me security without asking for something in return. Then the car. Registered to me. So you never have to rely on anyone, he said. Slowly, my fear started feeling irrational. What kind of man lies and manipulates while putting everything in your name? I started reframing the story in my head. I wasn't being deceived. I was being included. I wasn't breaking a family. I was entering an arrangement that already existed. I told myself his wife understood the traditions better than I did. I told myself women like her accepted these things. I told myself jealousy was a Western sickness I needed to unlearn. We had a small religious ceremony. No celebration. No photos. No witnesses from my side. He said discretion was wisdom, not secrecy. I believed him. I started calling him my husband in my mind, carefully, like the word might break if spoken aloud. For a while, life felt suspended in an artificial calm. I had my own place, my routine, his visits. I lived in a bubble where consequences felt far away. Until his wife found out. She didn't scream. She didn't confront him publicly. She came to me. She stood in my apartment and looked around slowly, touching nothing, absorbing everything. Her voice was soft, controlled. She told me she knew exactly who I was and what role he had promised me. She said she had forgiven him for many things over the years, affairs, lies, humiliations, but this was different. She said tradition only works when everyone agrees to respect it, and she did not agree. She told me I could leave quietly, or she could make sure I lost everything loudly. After that, things began to unravel, not explosively, but methodically. He stopped staying overnight. Then he stopped coming as often. His tone shifted from confident to cautious. He said there was pressure at home, threats, ultimatums. He said his wife was unstable. He said she was threatening to take the children and ruin him. He asked me to be patient. Then the financial support slowed. Then stopped. Suddenly, the apartment wasn't as secure as I'd been led to believe. Suddenly, the car was under review. When I confronted him, he looked tired, not apologetic. He said things were more complicated than he expected. He said maybe we had rushed into things. That word felt like a slap. Rushed. As if I had pushed him into a life he had carefully orchestrated himself. Then the rumors started. Anonymous messages. Screenshots sent to people at my workplace. His wife didn't need to touch me directly. She let the system do the damage. Lawyers. Social pressure. Reputation. I became the woman who tried to destroy a family. The immoral one. The disposable one. He didn't defend me. Not publicly. Not privately. He said he couldn't afford to anger her further. Then he stopped answering altogether. The apartment was taken back through legal loopholes I didn't even know existed. The car was seized. Every layer of security peeled away one by one. And then I found out the final truth. The ceremony. The second wife arrangement. None of it had ever been legally or religiously valid. He had known that from the beginning. To his wife, I wasn't a second wife. I was evidence. Proof of his betrayal that she used to secure full control, the children, the assets, the narrative. And to him, I was a test. A fantasy. Something he wanted to experience without risking his real life. The shock didn't come immediately. It came weeks later, when I learned she was pregnant again. Planned. Celebrated. Public. Their marriage saved through my destruction. I wasn't a second wife. I wasn't even a mistake. I was leverage. And the most terrifying part isn't what I lost. It's how calmly it was done. How generosity masked control. How protection turned into ownership. How easily I believed that being chosen meant being valued, when in reality, it just meant I was convenient.